Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Fox Business Network anchor and longtime friend of MCW, Liz Clayman.
We are beginning what is part one of what we promise to be an incredibly memorable way that we are here to celebrate a very fulfilling evening. Now, what are we celebrating? Not one, not four, not 8, not 10, not 15, 20 years of Miracle Corners of the World, MCW. Hi, Stan. Stan Bergman's here. Where's Eddie? Is Eddie here? Oh, he's on time. Yeah, I got you, Eddie. I got Eddie's number here. And I do have to give you a personal story to begin with right now, that when I met Stan and Eddie, we didn't even have kids at that point. I have a daughter and a son. We didn't have children at that point. How things come full circle and through the circle of life is that this summer, my daughter, now 17, is interning for MCW. She's gonna kill me that I mentioned that, so, because nothing mothers can do is right, and we embarrass everybody. Okay, so we are going to kick off the program update, and the translation for that is all that's happened, how MCW is absolutely crushing it when it comes to helping communities and teaching leadership around the world to achieve greater levels of education, improved health, and increased economic security around the world. And we did want to mention that the incredible musicians that you just heard, Jababa, will be joining us once again upstairs, so you'll have another opportunity to hear them on the 10th floor when we are done with that. But let's hear it for Jababa. Oh, were you able to check out the silent auction items? Those two will be moved upstairs to the 10th floor, and I put in 2 bids. I want the limo and I want the airline ticket. So I signed up for a lot, but go ahead and beat me. There's nothing we'd like more than to up these bids, okay? So make sure you bid. They're beautiful arts and crafts from Africa, not to mention great opportunities for travel. And Yankees tickets, those are also there. And the Yankees, I think, are doing pretty well. Go Yankees. Okay, you will have another chance, as I said, to bid for those silent auction goodies up there. And once we present all the awards here, and once Allie does his spiel and his shtick, Allie, although I'm not going to get mad at him for being on the phone because we have a hashtag here, MCW Gala. So if this isn't like a Broadway show where you'll get yelled at for having your phone on, please tweet, Facebook, Instagram, hashtag MCW Gala. We would love it. And I'm at Liz Clayman. What are you, Allie? At Allie Velshi? How simple, right? At Liz Clayman, at Allie Velshi. So tag us all, do MCW. We're thrilled about it. And social media really matters to getting the word out about what an incredible charity and opportunity MCW is and presents. We want to give a warm welcome now to my partner in crime for so many years now here at MCW. I think we've all changed networks about 50 times. I was at CNBC. You were at Bloomberg? CNN-FN. Then he went to MSNBC, and now I'm at Fox. So I think we need to hit a couple more networks out there at some point. Bravo Channel, E! Entertainment, and then we're good. Allie Velshi of MSNBC, come on up here.
Thank you, friend. I think the most consistent thing about mine and Liz's careers has been this. At some point we just have to sit down and think about how many years we've been doing this. It's been a lot, and time really flies, because I don't think about it as a collection of years, and I didn't think about this as 15 years of this event and 20 years of MCW doing work, because when you start doing this kind of work and you imagine that you can have an impact on people's lives, nobody thinks about these milestones in the beginning, right? You don't think about ultimately how many lives you might touch. You don't think about how many years you might do this. You just think about the impact you can have. And that has been the mission of MCW. So to look out here and see a room full of people and to see people who we've been looking at for years and to count the number of years that Liz and I have been involved, it's interesting because that was never the mission. The goal was this organization wanted to touch people and change lives and provide opportunity through education, through access to health care, to small, isolated groups of people who didn't have that stuff. These things don't always start off as movements. They start off as a problem that needs to be solved. And that is what Eddie and his team originally set out to do. What small improvement can I make to the world, given the resources that I have, given the people I know, given the context that I have? And it all just builds out of that into this remarkable success that we're now able to look back on and celebrate. And in short order, I'm going to have some of the people who have benefited from this most recently come and tell you exactly what that means practically. Because sometimes at events like this, it seems to be a large-scale celebration of successes, but what difference does it actually make in people's lives? And you're going to get to hear that very specifically. I want to kick it off with Eddie. Eddie is the co-founder and president of MCW, and Khalid Elachi is the executive director. These two guys have been making it happen year after year after year. So I want to invite them both up to give you an update about what's going on and to introduce some of the people who are here tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Ali, and thank you, Liz. We're so grateful that year after year you've been with us for 15 years of these galas and all your continued support and encouragement and everything you do, so thank you very much. Love you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us as we celebrate a milestone year for MCW, 20 years since the founding of this organization, 20 years of local change through global exchange, 20 years of empowering leaders who in turn are positively impacting their own communities, 20 years with friends and supporters like everyone in this room who've helped make this work possible. And our 15th annual Gala. Thank you for everyone for being here. And just by show of hands, who was with us 15 years ago at the Gala? All right. And then 10 years ago? Keep your hands up. And then 5 years ago? And then last year? All right. So as we can see, so you've been part of this, this miracle, which has only been possible because MCW, over the last 15 years, through the MCW Galas, has raised a combined $10.3 million, which includes tonight, where we're going to raise close to and hopefully exceeding, let's see, depending on how we do during the event, and the silent auction, $1 million, which we expect to raise with your support this evening. So my goal this evening is to have a speech that is 1/3 of the length as prior years. So less is more. So as we go on and we mature and I get gray hair, it's less is more. So, and then I'll hand it over to Khalid. I was proud to learn that this past year, MCW achieved the Gold Star seal of transparency rating from GuideStar, which is an endorsement towards MCW's goal of using these funds raised to directly impact the mission and responsibly make a difference in the world. It's indeed truly amazing to see an organization that I co-founded 20 years ago as a freshman here at NYU flourish and remain impactful. This clearly can be attributed to the network which has been mobilized over the years and the commitment, drive, and passion of a community, including the MCW leadership team, volunteers, the network, the MCW board, donors, beneficiaries, and all those who have played a role over the years. And I would like to specifically thank and ask the MCW board to stand. Paul Bergman, Anna Kondulis, Charlie Robbins, Gavin Poole, Humaira Kazi, and Mark Kemper. And also, I'd like to also thank and ask Kathy DeLeo to stand also, who's been a major part of this. And thank you for your leadership. Please also take a moment to recognize a few of the major supporters this evening, and a listing of all the donors has been included in here. So every dollar is equally as important as the other dollar, and everyone is just as important, and we thank everyone, and every dollar contributes to making a difference. And I would like to, just by name, thank a group of particular donors who have been very helpful to this year's fundraising campaign, and many who year after year have been ongoing supporters of this. Particular, a big thank you to the Benjamin family, Clearly Gottlieb, Steen, and Hamilton, LLP, Ernest & Young, who will be honoring later, Henry Schein Incorporated, Proskauer, the Spencer family, the UPS Foundation, the Brzezowski family, Mimi and Barry Alprin, BDO USA, Kirkland Ellis, Centerview Partners, the Claire Freelander Family Foundation, and the Bergman family, and everyone, as I mentioned, listed in the program. I'd also like to thank our Gala chairs who have gone above and beyond year after year to support our efforts, which all the Gala chairs are listed on page 17 of the program booklet and on the screen behind me. So this year we put everyone on the screen, so that way I can try to move the program along. But I would really like to thank the Gala chairs. Their tremendous outreach really is what makes this possible and what makes the work that we'll hear about possible. And everyone who's been part of this should really feel very proud and appreciated. Thank you. We'd also like to thank the honorary Gala chairs who lend their names and support to tonight's gala, many who are honorees from prior years and who then join this tradition of becoming an honorary chair. And the full list of chairs are listed on page 16 in the program. And I'd like to, in particular, thank one of our honorary chairs, Congressman Gregory Meeks, who unfortunately is not able to be with us this evening, but whose wife Simone is with us this evening, and Congressman Meeks for sending his warm wishes and heartfelt congratulations on behalf of his more than 730,000 constituents in the 5th Congressional District for MCW's persistence and the organization and all the efforts that are making a difference across the world. So thank you, Congressman Meeks, and also, unfortunately, who's not able to also be with us this evening, but who sends his very warm wishes, Mayor David Dinkins, the 106th mayor, who was our first honoree 15 years ago at the MCW Gala, who sends his warm greetings. I'd like to thank one individual who has been behind 15 years of MCW Gala, who everyone in this room knows that when he calls on you, it's MCW time. Anyone know who that is? Howie Stapler. So, it's MCW time. So thank you, Howie. Thank you for your amazing nudging that you do, and thank you to everyone that works with Howie. Finally, to the passionate, hardworking MCW team, who day in and day out give all to run this organization and its program, led by Khalid Alachi, MCW's executive director. Through his involvement and leadership with MCW, which dates back 16 years, when Khalid first participated in the Young Leaders Program, Khalid has been the driving force behind MCW's work. So I'd like to turn it over to Khalid, but before I do that, I also want to recognize my parents, Stanley and Marion Bergman, and my wife Sharon, and the 3 kids, Nora, Nina, and Elliot, 2 of who are with us, one who's sick at home. Dr. Marion Bergman leads MCW's oral health care program and invests so much time and energy into MCW, traveling to Tanzania in particular multiple times each year, and really spending so much time and energy and passion on MCW. And Stan Bergman contributed significantly over the years through his advocacy, outreach, and also a little bit of nudging. And thank you to both my parents. And from what I understand, thank you. And from what I understand, this past year, MCW had over 3,000 applicants for just 35 slots for the Young Leaders Access Program. So it's my personal goal to prepare my children for this. That's why they're here tonight, on their best behavior. And therefore, one of the ways we have to prepare is I have to be nice to Khalid. So it is my honor to invite Khalid to share some highlights of MCW's work and impact over the last 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight on this special evening. So leading up to the gala, we've been reflecting on the thousands of lives that MCW has impacted in the last 20 years. Viewing the 20 videos of the leaders from the MCW community in the weeks leading up to tonight, which were sent out by email over the last 20 weeks, it reminded us that these individuals are just a small sample of the far-reaching network that MCW has. Take a moment to imagine how many more stories there are out there all over the world. from all those who've been impacted in Tanzania through the upgrade of the country's oral health care program, to the leaders from all over the world who are now equipped with the tools and the networks that they need to implement their visions and make them into a reality after participating in the Young Leaders Program, and to the youth in East and Southern Africa who benefit from the community centers and related programs. Over the years, we've upgraded clinics and dental schools, we've held dental outreaches across Tanzania, and most recently partnered with the Tanzanian Ministry of Health to develop a comprehensive oral health care survey, which is currently underway now. Our work in Eastern Southern Africa spans 3 countries, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Zambia, providing important skills development programs. Regina Leichner, our Director of Africa Programs, oversees all of MCW's work on the continent. Her passion, her drive, and her commitment have strengthened our work across these communities. Please be sure to speak with Regina. Regina, raise your hand. Who'll be with us tonight. Regina spends most of her time in Tanzania, and she's here for a short period of time. So we always want to make sure that we use her time wisely. We're also very lucky to have Freddie Mutahangwa, MCR Board Chair, here with us tonight. You'll hear more from him tonight. Freddie? He'd be happy to talk to you more about the work that we're doing in Rwanda with MCR. Our Young Leaders Program has impacted so many participants over the years. This past year alone, as Eddie mentioned, we've had over 3,000 applicants for just 35 spots. These young leaders come from all over the world, including Kashmir, Indonesia, the Philippines, Egypt, Peru, Panama, and so many more. Tonight, we're excited to have many alumni from the program joining us this evening. They'll be wearing blue little ribbons, so please feel free to network and talk to them and hear about their experiences at the Young Leaders Program. Before moving to the video, I want to thank the incredible MCW team who deeply cares about the mission and communities MCW serves on a daily basis. Regina, who tirelessly dedicates energy and passion towards all of our work. Nadira Ali, our newest team member, who oversees our resource development and communications. And our interns, Leah, Gabby, Riley, and Ngam, who have tirelessly provided so much support to the team in making this gala happen and our Young Leaders Program happen the next week. And Angela Garu, who provides support throughout the year behind the scenes. Please enjoy our special 20 Years, 20 Leaders video that we've put together for you. Again, this is just a small snapshot of the so many people we've impacted over the years. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Inbar, originally from Israel, but currently living in Vienna, Austria.
My name is Alan Garcia, and I am from Mexico originally, grew up in New York City.
My name is Chinez Gosili. And my name is Chubai Gosili. We're from Nigeria and we're twins.
I'm Zanabia Marcos from Tanzania.
My name is Horton Lee, and I'm from Xi'an, China.
Hi, my name is Leon, and I come from Kosovo, Southeast Europe.
My name is Chandra James. I'm from Zambia.
I'm Noor Kazi and I'm from Long Island, New York.
My name is Rukmacha Kurimba. I did tailoring at Miracle Corner of Zambia.
Hello, my name is Dr. Clinton Timmerman from Kirkland, Washington.
My name is Tapasin Soho. I am from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Hi, my name is Nahid Ahmad and I'm from Chicago.
My name is Boale Janyanya Kafiwa.
My name is Joseph Weir from Beira, Tanzania.
Hello, I'm Dr. Matilda Mtaya Mlango. I'm the Dean of the Dental School at Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences in Tanzania.
Nitwa Wajeneza Ariste.
Kwizeyimana Doriane, nkaba ntuye mu karere ka Bugesera.
Hi, I'm Anshas from Karachi, Pakistan.
I've been actually involved with MCW for over a decade, started in 2006 as a mentee.
I first participated in Young Leaders Retreat in 2015 as a mentee.
We started off as mentees in MCW's Young Leaders Program.
Then came back in 2010 as a mentor.
The year after, I went back as a mentor.
And became mentors in subsequent years.
MCW really taught me the power of people.
Overall, MCW has taught me to be an overall thinker globally, especially in the health sector.
MCW Global taught us the significance of transforming our ideas into reality and impacting life others in positive ways.
Emusera yafashe kwiga umwuga w'ubudozi nari ndaho nta mwuga mfite ariko uyu musera yamfashe ni ukuvuga ngo ubu mfite akazi nyuma ukwezi
MCW has helped me expand the network of people I have met from all over the world.
Our collaboration with MCW has helped us not only to increase the number of dental students, but also to improve the quality of education.
Through MCW, I've learned how to set my vision clear. I want to empower women in my community.
Miracle Corners has been a great support for myself personally, both during dental school and since dental school. And I've loved it, and I've had the opportunity to be a part of their wonderful organization.
Since our time at MCW, we've gone on to school at Boston University, Clement Mechanic College, and Yale University. Then we moved back to Nigeria. We started a design and strategy company called Akanka that improves people and organizations by optimizing offline and online experiences. Acting on our impact-driven lessons from MCW, our company has an initiative that has provided thousands of dollars worth of free services to female-run nonprofits in Nigeria.
I learned with MCW that you can do anything with a clear vision and put that vision into a vision plan. And my vision plan has helped me achieve the dream of becoming an American dentist.
MCW has made a great impact in my life since through their initiatives and donations to the School of Dentistry, MUHAS, I have achieved the dream of becoming a doctor.
All of this experience has not only enabled me to grow as a person, but it has also played a huge role in giving birth to my social startup called Shoulder Pad, which aims to create a world where youth's voices are heard.
Joining the MCW program was a turning point in my life. The skills I developed, the tools I learned, and the confidence I've gained prepared me for my next role as the manager of the company.
I'm so grateful for MCW in my life.
I'm very grateful to have had this organization in my life.
I would like to thank MCW for believing in me and for considering me a part of this beautiful legacy.
We're grateful to MCW for significantly influencing our lives, and that's of others over the past 20 years.
I wouldn't be who I am today without my MCW family.
So I'd like to say, long live our collaboration. Thank you.
So again, these are just small snippets of far-reaching stories that we have. There's so many thousands of individuals who MCW has impacted over the years. Before I conclude, I want to welcome the Ambassador of Eswatini who's here with us tonight. Welcome, Ambassador. And there's very few times where I get to publicly thank people. So I just wanted to thank Steve and Sharon Kess, who helped us co-found the Alumni Ventures Fund. You'll hear from one of the recipients today, and they're here with us tonight. And then also, I want to personally thank two individuals who've been helping a lot over the years, especially with the Gala, Lorena Bloom and Mike Ettinger. I want to thank you guys and acknowledge all of your support.
Guys, congratulations. I know it's a big, big team that makes us all work, but your leadership, both of you, has been incredible. And for those of you who know these two guys, you know that it's a form of quiet leadership. It is just hard work. It's recruitment. It's fundraising. It's asking people to do things. It's creating relationships that results in the payoffs that you see, people actually achieving meaningful success in their careers. So my personal thanks to you. I want to invite Stanley Bergman, the Chairman and CEO of Henry Schein, and Stephen Palladino, the Executive Vice President and the Chief Financial Officer of Henry Schein, to present the Community Partnership Award to Ernst & Young.
It's really good to see everyone here tonight. I particularly enjoy sitting on the other side of Ali and Liz because I met them on the other side of a camera in a studio being grilled about Henry Schein's earnings. So it's a little bit better to be here now watching you and feeling that this is a benign event. But we've done okay despite the tough questions.
Absolutely.
So I have my prepared remarks, and I've committed, Eddie, to not speak too long. But looking out here and seeing all the faces, I have to say thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for believing in a bunch of young kids that first went to Africa at 16 and 17. I caution all the parents here, if you tell your kids that you want them to go and serve the underserved, and you tell them at a young age, be careful, they may actually do it. And Mary and I had some, I would say, restless evenings in the early days when Eddie, Paul, went to places like Ivory Coast at 16, 17 actually. Eddie went at 14 to Nicaragua. But it's all worked out very well. I do want to recognize Khalid. Where is Khalid? Khalid, you're an absolutely remarkable individual. You, from a very young age, you got it. And you have grown with this organization. You've led this organization. And yes, when Howie calls, people listen. But when you call, they also listen. So thank you for your leadership. The team, I'm going to be careful now. I'm not going to mention all the names, but the people to your left, the two of them, have done great work. And you've been an inspirational leader and a great partner for Eddie and the team. So congratulations and thank you. I also want to recognize Anna. Where is Anna? Anna. So when Eddie walked into Anna's office in his freshman year here at NYU with the idea of starting or advancing the NYU, advancing MCW using the NYU platform at the time, you encouraged Eddie, Dr. Schulz and others were involved with that as well, Margot Marshak, and the whole NYU community welcomed MCW, but you were the driver behind that. And fast forward, Charlie Robbins is here, who is the assistant, the provost responsible for undergraduate studies at Stony Brook. Between the two of you, the amount of time you spend, and Charlie, you actually work with the people, the students. You have a full-time job working with thousands of students at Stony Brook, yet you go up to Vermont and work with the students for a whole week, giving of your time. So the two of you, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do. Of course, thank you to the Team Shine group, many, many people involved. Of course, not only in the fundraising, but helping with transportation issues, helping get it visas, helping with logistics, with dental supplies. Of course, Michael Ettinger and Howie, Lorena, Jerry Benjamin, I can go on and on. The Shine Creative Services team have always created great videos, other communication activities. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Joe and Diane and the Shine Creative team. So I could go on speaking for hours. We could fill rooms of people that are helping each year with this program. Many of them in different parts of the world, and most actually, and could not be here. But thank you for your support, and of course, thank you to the countless people that are not in the room here. So, a lot has been said already. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the EY firm, who are the recipients of this year's MCW Community Partnership Award program, or award. Herb Engert is here to receive the award. What is MCW's Community Partnership Program all about, or award about? Recognizes individuals and companies who embody MCW's values, committed to working in partnership, public-private partnerships with governments, corporations, civil society. It's really what EY has done a great job of over the decades. Of course, making a positive impact on particularly the underserved communities around the world. At its heart, this award underscores the power of public-private partnerships, and EY is involved in countless public-private partnerships, recognizing that the private sector can make a difference in the world to make the world a better place, working, as EY puts it, building a better working world. The organization improves the lives of individuals and communities around the world, supporting the next generation, empowering the next generation to succeed, and has a commitment to drive progress towards the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we're grateful, Herb, to you for being here, Arda Ural, Kaizal Shah, and the rest of the EY team. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And now to my partner, Steve Palladino, who has been an avid fundraiser for Miracle Corners of the World for 20 years. So thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Stanley, and congratulations, Eddie and Khalid, for 20 really fabulous years of MCW. I remember when it started, it was really a twinkle in your eye, and now it's really a big organization. So congratulations, because you do some really great work. I also, before I start, would like to thank really all of the people who support MCW. It truly is a great organization. It truly does make a difference to people and their lives. So we really thank you for all of your support. E&Y, or EY. EY's commitment to serving communities in over 150 countries aligns with MCW's vision of empowering leaders in their communities. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, EY aims to have a positive impact not only on the markets and on business, but also on society as a whole. As CFO of Henry Schein, I've personally experienced EY's commitment to excellence. In addition to the talented team that we work with at E&Y, I am pleased to say that our two companies share a common commitment to values and culture, which creates true alignment between the two teams. Additionally, I am most pleased to say I have also witnessed firsthand their commitment to social responsibility through their Next Gen programs, which aligns very closely with MCW's mission. Next Gen is a program which nurtures Africa's next generation of women leaders. The premise is that women from underserved communities have talent, grit, and determination in abundance. What they lack are the opportunities to fulfill their potential. Through Next Gen, these young women receive holistic support spanning extra academic tutoring, work experience, and leadership camps. We recognize EY's commitment to improving the lives of individuals and communities. With EY's exceptional support, MCW can continue to carry out its important work, helping communities around the world achieve greater levels of education, improved health, and increased economic security. So with that, on behalf of MCW, it is my great pleasure to welcome Herb Engert, partner at EY, to the stage to receive the MCW 2019 Community Partnership Award. Congratulations.
All right. Well, thank you, Stanley and Steve, and thank you all so very much. I'm delighted to be here to accept the Community Partnership Award on behalf of EY and my over 260,000 colleagues around the world, many of whom are here this evening, and you'll hear from one of them shortly. At EY, our purpose, as Stanley said, is to build a better working world. The purpose provides context and meaning for the work we do, the clients we serve, and the decisions that we make every day as EY professionals. We recognize individuals and organizations whose purpose and values mirror our own and actively engage with those that empower and enable the advancement of people and community. We believe in the importance of collaboration and that strength and progress comes in numbers. What MCW and Henry Schein have been able to accomplish by joining forces is outstanding. They are changing lives. And I'm delighted that our own relationship with Henry Schein brought us closer to MCW and has enabled us to be a part of this celebration this evening. I would also like to recognize and thank our team member Adolf, who you'll meet shortly on the panel discussion. Adolf is an exemplary example of a professional living the joint EY, MCW, and Henry Schein values of giving back to the community, and he's just an outstanding individual. So thank you, Adolf. In closing, I encourage us all to continue to strive for positive transformation, support and team with like-minded people and organizations, and together we can create huge waves of change. Thank you so much, and congratulations on 20 years. So, there is a rumor that I can confirm that Lorena Bloom reads my handwriting better than me. And I made a note to thank a particular family, and I could not read my handwriting, but now I've read it. And that is the Spencer family. This is a family that is committed to really making a difference in the world, of course financially, but more important, this family goes to Africa and the developing world. John and the family understand dental equipment very, very well. And they go out to these communities and help plan the installation of equipment and then do it themselves. And so, Stephen, you can read my handwriting. There it is, right? I just forgot to read it.
It was there.
Right. So John and family, thank you for what you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I just wonder how bad your handwriting has to be to not be able to read Spencer. It did strike me that when he said these people know dental equipment really well, I thought to myself, wow, I kind of know dental equipment really well, but from a completely different perspective. And it's hard sometimes when you're sitting in that dental chair, especially when you're a person of a certain age, and like I'm on my third round of the same fillings. And I just wondered to myself, it's like, was there anybody thinking about this when they invented these things, the big needles and the drills and all that? But I appreciate that you guys are thinking about it. So, as I said, Liz and I go to a lot of events where we're thankful for and appreciative of and raising money for good things that the organization does for people. I always think it's never better than to hear from those people themselves. So without much flourish, because one of my jobs tonight is to keep us on time, and I'm already failing at that, I would like to introduce, I'd like to have come up to the stage Anusha Somani from Pakistan, Mohammed Ghanem from Egypt, Adolf Unuarumi from Nigeria, whom we just heard about, Freddie Mutanguha from Rwanda, and Alexis Cohen from New York. Sit wherever you want, and I will start with you, and then we'll all just be sharing mics. I think the goal here is just briefly to sort of give this audience, supporters of MCW, a sense of how its work has had an impact on where you are, so that they sort of understand, look, we're here, it's New York, it's busy, what's the real value to these things? I think they trust the organization, and many of us will know somebody in this organization that has brought us in. But in the end, and this happened to me several years ago when I went to Rwanda and I saw some of the projects that were going on, and I really clicked. It just clicked because it suddenly became not abstract to me. So your job in very little time is to make MCW not abstract by saying what it did for your life and who you are.
I will try to do that. My name is Alexis Cohen.
The main goal of you saying your name is so that I can say it back better than I just did.
There you go. So my first involvement with MCW was in 2014 with the oral health program in Tanzania. And just where I was on my own trajectory at that point, I was in the middle of my pediatric dental residency program. So I had already completed dental school, and I had completed a master's program in global public health. So I knew what my interests were, but in the grand scheme of things, I didn't know how those were going to fall into place in a career in the future. But I was invited to go to Tanzania with a few other dentists, and I think the intention at that point was to treat patients in the clinic that MCW was supporting at that time. And 2014, I believe, was a pretty pivotal year for the oral health programs in general. It was, if not the first time, one of the first times that dental therapy students joined us. there. So there was about 8 or so dental therapy students that came with one of their faculty, and the idea as well was for them to be, seeing patients, assisting, getting more experience while we were there. And it really became a teaching and a learning experience for everyone involved, because we got to know the students, we got to know what their curriculum was, and we realized there was a lot of potential and a lot more potential for community outreach and community involvement rather than just treating the patients that were walking into the clinic at that point. So we tried to capitalize that, and instead of just seeing patients in the clinic for the 2 weeks we were there, we took one of the weeks and we contacted local elementary schools. We realized the dental therapy students didn't have a lot of experience with pediatrics and with community outreach. So we worked with them in the schools and taught them how to deliver community-based, school-based oral health education, how to deliver fluoride varnish to like a whole school at one time, how to do assessments in a school so that the kids who really needed treatment could be the ones referred back to the clinic. And it was really amazing to watch them over the course of that week really take ownership of it and be comfortable in front of the classroom. And going forward, I think it's really changed how the oral health programs are run. And so for me personally, it was a really wonderful experience to be a part of that and collaborative as a team, working on the ground and putting those skills that I had learned, in school and some other work, but in real life. And I think it just really solidified what I wanted to do as a career. So going forward, I came back and I finished my residency, and now instead of working in a private practice full-time, which is the most traditional route for a dentist, I actually work at NYU full-time teaching dental students in the pediatric department and also traveling around the world with the NYU Global Outreach programs and working closely with them, employing the same principles we really did at that time in Tanzania.
So the benefit you got, we're now all getting the benefit of because you've decided that's an important part of your life, to continue doing that work in outreach.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Freddie Mutangwa. I'm chair of the MC.
You say that so much more easily than I do.
Yeah, Mutangwa, yes.
He says it like it's one syllable. That's amazing. All right, Freddie Mutangwa.
Mutangwa, yes.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, I'm the MCR chair of the board and MC Rwanda. What the impact actually, being involved in MCW journey to had in my life actually is my involvement and my experience in this journey actually have been a life-changing experience. This because I want so many things happened and so many learning I had, but I want to share only 2. Because of time, I know Ali is going to say, stop, I talk too much, I know. But 2 things I learned in this journey is that when you do a job and a good job like MCW, the good thing you need to do is to make the right choice. That's one thing. The second thing is to do and to be guided by your heart. By your care and the compassion are really the core values that I learned from this organization. And I'll explain it myself. In Rwanda, most of the organizations, they're based in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. Why they based there? Because the life is easy. But what I realized and what I liked for MCR is that they choose, and this right choice, to be based within the community in Bugesera region, not in Kigali. So that was really something that struck me, that say that this is really the right organization for the right people and the right for the community and my community in Rwanda. And this is the choice of Bugesera has a meaning. It has really a huge meaning because this is a place, a region that have been discriminated for many years. In 1959, the Tutsi have been deported to that area because it was really harsh conditions. And most of them been killed by the tsetse flies and by sleeping disease. And then in 1994, most of them have been exterminated because this was the plan. Understandably, this is a place where there's so many orphans, because this is actually, we had so many Tutsis who would be living in that place. And then when the time of genocide, we had a higher number of orphans in that area. But it's an area where a huge vulnerability because of these orphans. They are traumatized. They don't have a hope. They are hopeless people. But also the area itself is not really a good area to live, because like recently they had a drought, and then we have like a hunger migration. But also it's an area where 48% of the total population, they live under poverty line. So which is really very harsh condition. It was really a right choice for MCR to serve these people. The other thing I want to mention, this area, it's an area that has the most opportunities, the development opportunities in the country than any other place in the country as well, because it's a place where we have 9 lakes, and it's more flat. In Rwanda, we have, the country is hilly, and to find a flat place in other places, it's not possible. But in that area, it's a flat place, which is fantastic. And it's a good opportunity for agriculture as well. You can have mechanized agriculture, and with the lakes, you can have agriculture irrigations. But also it's a place where in next year we'll be having the biggest airport in sub-Saharan as well. So it's a huge opportunities. So when I'm talking about the right choice of the organization, having those young people who really seeking for the skills development and in terms of improving the economic development, it's really the right choice that this organization have made. But also, the organization have been led by the heart, because this is about care, this is about compassion that this organization have had to get these people served. So, so in activities that we're doing in MCR in Rwanda, the choice also, the activities is very important. Because these are people who sometime, and they lost actually time to go to school. The vocation education is very important for them, because by having tailoring and also having ICT, it's very important, because even the government itself is really leading that area to make the country as a hub of technology. That really will give more job to young people, and that will be very, very helpful. And what we're doing in Rwanda,
Freddie, your
it's a
comments
line
are almost
exactly.
as long as your last name.
Just one thing. Just one thing I want to mention. What we're doing in Rwanda, I want to actually. What we're doing in Rwanda is it aligns with the district itself development plan. Why we align with them? Because we are with them. Because we identify the needs together. Because we because we understand what the community needs. So being in the community is very important, and that's what I've seen is very important to have impacted my life as well.
Freddie, thank you for that. Mutangwa, right? Mutangwa. All right, I was just trying too hard. You know, I've been to your country, and just a tremendously beautiful place. It's hard to reconcile what terrible things happen in a place that's like just so amazing and beautiful, but it was great to see, and great to see what MCR's work was there. And I'm also a huge fan of Tanzania, where you were. I'm going on Thursday, actually, so that'll be fun. I have not been to Nigeria. Adolf, Uno Arumi?
Very close.
Say it.
Unuarumi.
Unuarumi, all right.
There you go.
Now, I've not been to Nigeria. I will go soon, but my wife and I spend our weekends in Philadelphia, which is where you're living these days, right?
That is correct.
Tell us about you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adolf Unuarumi, and from Nigeria, as Ali just mentioned. I got involved with MCW attending a Henry Schein event. I'm with Ernst & Young, EY. We were doing some work for Henry Schein, and I attended an event where I was talking about my background and expressing an interest in just, looking for opportunities to give back. And sitting next to Howard Stapler, and he had his recruiting hat on. And Howard said to me, Adolf, it's funny because I really think it's a great organization that you can get involved with. And that's how we got started, how he introduced me to JC and Khalid. I went into New York, had a conversation with them, and got involved with MCW. As part of that process, I got involved and now serving as a mentor. So Mohammed, who you're going to meet very shortly, I'm serving as a professional mentor to Mohammed. But let me tell you a little bit about myself, just to provide some context as to why MCW means a lot to me and why I'm actually going ahead and spending time providing mentorship. So originally born and raised in Nigeria, I came to the U.S., so I immigrated to the U.S. at 17 to attend Drexel University in Philadelphia. And at the time, as a young African kid coming here to the U.S., there was a lot to learn in terms of just navigating and assimilating to the culture. I'm very fortunate to have had mentors, amazing mentors, who were able to guide me through my college career and also my professional career. And with that in mind, I'm very fortunate in the role that I am today at EY to be in a position to help, and I see it as paying it forward and giving back by mentoring and providing the guidance that Mohammed needs to help with his organization. So in my role as a professional mentor at MCW, I'm constantly in contact with Mohammed. This is the first time we actually met in person. I haven't made a chance to go to Egypt yet, but we have these calls, usually on a monthly basis, where we connect. And very early in our conversation, I think it was in our first conversation, Mohammed expressed to me, described his business goals and some of the challenges he had with expanding his company and his organization in Egypt. And it immediately resonated with me for a couple of reasons. One, I'm originally from Africa, and I understand some of the challenges of doing business there. But two, it tapped into the entrepreneurial spirit that I have, and I immediately was able to connect and see how my background, African background, in addition to that, my professional experience, could lend itself to helping Mohammed realize and achieve his vision. So with that, we've kept a cadence, kind of a monthly cadence where he tells me how he's doing, I provide feedback. Additionally, in addition to that, I tap into my professional network in other areas, things like marketing and brand management, where I ask friends to kind of help him. So one of the things recently did was ask a friend of mine to kind of help with his website, LinkedIn, and Facebook to look at his online presence and social media presence to see how he can be more effective in the local market. So for me, I'm very grateful for the mentors that I've had because it's allowed me to really progress in my career. And when I think back to where I came from and how I got to where I am today, MCW to me provides an opportunity for me to give back in the form of mentorship, and I find that to be personally very fulfilling. So that's my story, and that's why I'm connected with MCW.
Thank you, sir. And Mohammed, you got a bit of an intro already.
So my name is Mohammed Ghanim. I'm from Egypt. And my first involvement with MCW, it was in 2017 when I came here as a mentee. Then in 2018, I asked MCW to hold the conference, the regional conference in Egypt. So we are like going back and forth with the emails, like is it safe, is it not, like how we will do it and so on. And after that we do the conference in Egypt, like it was for Egyptian and also for other participants from African countries. And then in 2018 I was back as a mentor, and also this year I also a recipient of the EVF, like the Alumni Venture Funds. And this is how I get with MCW. And if I have like a highlight because of the time, the first thing is when I came as a mentee in 2017, I was here in US. I was studying in summer school in California, and I have like a very tough time with like some accident in the airport due to my name, because I have like similarity and so on. And when I came to MCW, I feel that kind of trust, and I feel this kind of very accepting diversity and tolerance. And the story that we shared, this in this context, people don't ask you about what is your background, what's your name, where are you come from, but they ask you a question that invites stories, that invites who you are really, I am, and how you evolve, how you reach this stage. And I feel this trust, and this trust is not only from the first of the journey, but also from like for the whole journey, for the long journey. And I not exaggerate if I said that it's like unconditional trust. Like people really build the trust based on history, based on CV, based on like the courses that you take, something like that. But here it's like building trust from the beginning. It's like unconditional. You have our trust, and when you have this trust, when you have this people believing in you and believing in your potentials, then you do something that you not even ever expected that you will do. I didn't even dream of being here in the Gala when I see when I first entered to the MCW. I didn't even think that one day I can receive the fund, or my idea it could be like this very like good and fit for the fund. I didn't even think that I can even have a conference, an international conference with an international participant in Egypt, holding all the logistics from A to Z, see all logistics and the visas and so on. So for me, this is like when I go through and look back at how this happened, I feel that it's like kind of trust that I gained from the first time. Also another highlight, if I have another minute, is also the process itself. The program is not only like the program that you can get to another country, see people and have friends, and that's it. It's like a long program, and also the process before the program, how to apply to the program, is like mind blowing. It's changing your perspective, how to do social work. So you are not only like submit application, then you go for assessment need, and then you go for the interview. So this whole journey is not only about to get in, but the journey itself is like it's a learning experience, a learning opportunity. So I think this year many people applied from Egypt to the program, and not many of them like have got it because of the limited spots that we have. And I hope by we are doing here like with the Gala and so on, we can expand these spots. And some people of them, like when they go through this application process, they ask me about if I can mentor them, not through the program, but through the application, and they already starting their project and do activities. And this is the thing that I love about the structure and how the program is went. So this is my my highlights. Also the EVF. It's very good opportunity to have this fund, and you start working on it, and you have a professional mentor who is already coming from the same background, so he understands the challenges. So if I go to another mentor and see that I have a problem with the governmental restrictions, so no one understand what kind of governmental restriction. We have a problem with the legal framework. We didn't have something called social enterprises. So it's either non-profit or either for-profit company. So this kind of questions and challenging, that being understandable, and also have the one who gave you, it's not only the money, but the money and the mentorship, and how the people go through all of this, checking on you and see how it goes, and also recognize what you are doing. This is the essence, and this is how this impacts me.
Thank you. I have to say, I don't know that you intended that this is one of the things that we would take away from it, but the idea that Muhammad is talking about being a student from somewhere else who feels welcomed and encouraged in America was very interesting to me. I think in today's day and age, that alone is value. Anusha.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Anusha. I got associated with MCW back in 2017. In fact, we both were mentees in the same year. And then the next year, I emailed Regina, and I said that, hey, is there any possibility that I can intern with MCW, like in Africa? And it was a long shot. It was like, I don't know if this has ever happened before, that a mentee has gotten the opportunity to go and be an intern in one of the countries. My mentor at that time, Henny, I would like to mention her. She played a huge role in, motivating me and telling me like, hey, you should go for it. It was, as I said earlier, it was a long shot, and again, as Mohammed mentioned, it was back and forth emails, like, seeing if it would work out, and it did. To my surprise, it did, and I interned last year. I spent 3 months in Tanzania, so Tanzania, there it is again. And I've worked on ground with in Arusha, which was one of the community centers there, and then I worked with the country director on strategic plan of MCT. And right today, this year, we're back as a mentor. So yeah, that's been my journey with MCW. But if I have to conclude, if I have to talk about what I've learned from this whole journey, is I'm going to talk about 2 points. Number one, which Mohammed has also beautifully mentioned, is about the trust, is about the unwavering belief system that MCW as an organization has. I have been associated with a lot of organizations in these past years as a trainer, facilitator, and MCW is by far one of the few organizations that trust people so much. It's amazing to see that even they don't know if this would work out, but they are there by your side, and they want to make sure that you are okay and that it will work out. So it was this trust that I applied so when I was applying for a mentee, so the problem that I wanted to work on, the solution that I wanted to get was to work on the communication gap between students, teachers, and parents. And it was a long shot, and I was like, I don't know if this would work out as a project, but I had ideas, I had already worked as a facilitator in the system, and MCW gave me that opportunity to work on it. It was then 2 years back that I started to work on it, that it changed a lot of course. It changed its course a lot of times, and it was then that it led to mental health. It led to the founding of Shoulder Pad. It also led to me participating of being part of the project that is currently working on teenage suicide prevention in Pakistan. It's a nationwide program to prevent teens from suiciding because of depression, because of anxiety, and because of academic pressure. So that, I think that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for MCW. Secondly, and last point, is that it has taught me how to be flexible. There are times that as a person, as a leader, you're like, I have plans, and this is how it's going to work out. You have plan A, you have plan B, you have plan C, you're sorted. But then there are times when it may not work out. Those plans may not work out, and this is what I've learned in my internship last year, that there may be times that it would demand you to come out of your comfort zone. It would demand you to to get solutions. And if I have to summarize it in my last line, it would be like, even when it seems that you do not have options available, MCW has taught me that there may still be a solution. You just need to have an eye to see it and a heart to believe it. So yes.
It's amazing. Freddie said that one of the things about MCW is making choices, making good choices. And I think this is a demonstration of some of the good choices that MCW has made. And Mohammed, your view that you had a number of Egyptian students who wanted to participate and there aren't enough slots, well, for those of you tonight, as you make your contributions, now you understand what happens. If there are more slots, more people like this will do more of the things that they're doing. Congratulations, and thank you to all of you for doing that. My appreciation to you. And I would like to call upon Dr. Charlie Robbins, who's the Dean of Undergraduate Colleges at Stony Brook University. He's also a member of MCW's Board of Directors, to share some closing remarks before we all move upstairs for food and entertainment.
What an impressive panel. Stan mentioned about all the work that everybody here does, and sometimes you wonder where the energy comes from. This is where it comes from. Seeing what this organization does, seeing the lives that have been touched over the past 20 years. This is just a small fraction of what's accomplished. And I would urge you all to take with you a copy of the corner that's on your seats that really can outline in much more specificity really what MCW has accomplished over the past 20 years. What started as an idea, what started as a dream has really matured, and I'm really proud, and I speak on behalf of all of my fellow board members. We are really proud of how this organization has matured and continues to impact internationally as well as across this country young people and the communities that they come from. We could not do this without each and every one of your support. So it's really great to look back. It's really important to take stock of what's been accomplished, but we are not done. And MCW plans to move forward and to continue to up our game, to continue to reach more people. You heard about the regional meeting for young people that we had in Egypt. We just came back from a meeting we had in Albania for a week with young people. Before that, we were in Kosovo for a week. Next week, we'll be in Vermont with the 35 really impressive young people that were selected out of the 3,000 or so applications that we got for this year. What I think sometimes people don't know, and I think is critical, and it may have been a little confusing here, is that every young person who goes through the week-long training is assigned a mentor for a year. So it is not just a week's program. It's not just coming to the States for a week and getting something out of it, and then we see what happens. We are connected to these young people for a year, and in many cases, well beyond that. There's hardly a day that I open Facebook and don't see Mohammed on it. He's just like there all the time. But it's really so wonderful to see what people do and what people accomplish. The AVF, the Alumni Venture Fund, is critical because we select an even smaller number of people, a handful of young people who went through our program and need some funds to get their idea started, need some seed money to get their idea started. And wherever they may be in the world, they could be in the United States, they could be in Europe, they could be in Africa. They need to put together a proposal that demonstrates that they are really prepared to take their idea to the next level. Not only do they receive funds, as you saw tonight, they receive a professional mentor who really helps them to achieve that, really helps them to get there. And that changes lives, that changes communities, that changes our world in such a positive way. I was really glad to hear Ali point out the idea that it's so refreshing today to see this kind of trust, this type of reaching across every single boundary in humankind that's possible, because they don't matter at MCW. We've transformed, and I know this sounds a little too great, but we've transformed oral health in Tanzania. Just think about that. Changing oral health for a whole country. Are there other countries that we can do this in? Absolutely. But we need your support to be able to do that. So I am officially now standing between you and dinner, and I don't it's a terrible place to be. But on behalf of the MCW team, on behalf of the MCW Board of Directors, just to echo one thing that Eddie said, every dollar that we received is used to enhance the program, is used to help a community, is used to help a young person, is used to make the retreats and our regional meetings possible. So I urge you to please continue to support this organization, take advantage of the auction upstairs, but any questions that you have, see one of our board members, see the staff, see Eddie, Khalid. We'd be happy to talk to you about the program. We'd be happy to let you know why this is really making an investment in the future. So with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention, and I turn the mic back to Ali.
All right, thank you for bringing that all together for us to help us understand how this all works. Okay, couple things. First of all, they're ready. Baba is ready to entertain you a little more because it takes a little while to get everybody out of this room, but you are headed upstairs to the 10th floor. There's a beautiful buffet and reception that'll go on over there. Here's what you have to know about. There are silent auction items. I am always one for a good deal, but I encourage you not to think of the silent auction that way. You know where your money is going. So you can get something in exchange for it, but you are going to help continue the work that you've just seen happen. There's also going to be a 50-50 raffle. Volunteers will be walking around selling those tickets. You can take the elevators up to the 10th floor, enjoy Jababa with a little more entertainment, and I'll see you on the other side.